Mellow greetings, everybody. My name is James. I'm from the internet. Today we are going to be talking about Caitlyn Jenner. Now, for those of you who might have missed the announcement, Caitlyn Jenner has officially thrown her hat in the ring and is going to be running to be the next governor of the state of California. And while her initial announcement might have been met with a certain amount of skepticism or amusement, I assure you, Caitlyn Jenner is highly qualified to be a candidate for the governor of the state of California. She's a shit ton of money. She knows a shit ton of powerful people, and her daughter has a shit ton of followers on Twitter. She is highly fucking qualified, I promise. So, Caitlyn wasted no time after the announcement, went out, started the press junket. Where'd she go? To Fox News to appear on Sean Hannity. Are some of you not aware of the fact that Caitlyn Jenner is a raging conservative Republican? Oh yeah, it's a whole thing. So, what I want to do is I want to show you some highlights of her appearance so that y'all can get a good grasp of what Caitlyn's potential policies would be and the vision that she has for the state of California through the eyes of Caitlyn Jenner. And then this way you can determine for yourself if her politics would be enough to get her over the top. Here we go.
My friends are leaving California. Actually, we're at my hangar. The guy across right over from me, he was packing up his hangar. I said, "Where are you going?" And he says, "I'm moving to Sedona, Arizona. I can't take it here anymore. I can't walk down the streets and see the homeless." I don't want to leave. Okay, either I stay and fight or I get out of here.
So there you go, wasting no time. National press junket, here we go. Caitlyn Jenner opening up with a totally relatable story for the electorate to hear. You know, about how when she went to the hangar where her private jet is stored, the wealthy dude in the private hangar across the runway from her place was packing up his private jet, clipping a U-Haul onto the back, and flying off to Arizona because he has to get away from the scourge of the dirty homeless people. It's a totally relatable tale, right? Who amongst us has not been at our hangar and looked across the runway at Ted or Chip or Tad or Todd or whoever the fuck it is who lives across the runway? We're like, "Oh, did you see the homeless today, old chap?" Wow, Caitlyn, you're just really connecting with the electorate, Caitlyn. Okay, now I'm starting to wonder if I shouldn't have pumped you up so much as a viable candidate. But all right, a little rough out of the gate, but surely you have a good follow-up corollary story for this that will let us know what your ideas are as far as, you know, the actual legislation and improvement of the state, not just freaking out that your billionaire friends are leaving.
We are now spending billions of dollars on this high-speed rail, okay? And they talk about it all the time between LA and San Francisco. And I'm going, why are we doing that? I can get on a plane at LAX and I'll be in San Francisco in 50 minutes. You know, why do we need high-speed rail?
So I hate to say it, but my two takeaways so far is that Caitlyn really loves flying and she hates poor people and can't possibly imagine the hellscape that is involved driving 5 hours from San Francisco to Los Angeles because, I don't know, people can't afford a $500 commuter flight. So once again, I feel like Caitlyn's sort of very detached from the electorate, but maybe she has a good plan for what they could spend all that money on instead. You know, instead of high-speed rail or, you know, trains for the common folk to travel on. Maybe she's got a plan for that.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we invest that money in desalination plants along the coast? Take that water, and anytime it's a bad year, desalinate the water, have some pipes going over the mountains out to the San Joaquin Valley for all our farmers, have it down here. We're in the Camarillo area. You look right over here. I drive through the farmyards every year. Why don't we just start to look at it? Wait a second. Maybe water is a bigger issue than trying to move a few people.
All right, let's give Caitlyn a little credit there. She was half right. Water is a big issue, but desalination plants, extremely expensive. Running pipes over mountains, very expensive. Of course, the idea of maybe, I don't know, canceling contracts with bottled water companies that are stealing all the water out from the aquifer and the water tables underneath most of that farmland in California has never occurred to Caitlyn because, of course, Caitlyn is a raging capitalist and she loves the idea of wealthy people making a lot more money for themselves. So, let's just build desalination plants and then pipes over mountains. That seems really cost effective, Caitlyn. You're not helping yourself. All right, what else do you got?
Yes, forest management is extremely important. Yeah, just like at my house, and it's not even forest management at my house. The reason my house made it, because they say you have to keep any brush 50 or 75 feet. I think I had 75 feet clearance. When the fires came, they just went around my house so fast, it was gone because it's moving very fast. So it's almost the same thing for forest management, just a little bit of preparation, and my house made it. But 5 houses around me were burnt to the ground. Lives were destroyed.
So apparently Caitlyn Jenner, who lives in wildfire country, has taken the Trump approach, which is we just need to rake more. Two quick fun stories here. Number one, more than 50% of all of that forest land in California, yeah, that's owned and operated by the federal government, and they're not doing dick, okay? Number two, Caitlyn Jenner's plan is hire a whole bunch of Mexican landscapers to cut down everything within 100 feet of anything. I'm starting to get the idea that Caitlyn Jenner doesn't understand how much normal things cost, like gasoline or plane tickets or landscaping service. This is really, really not going well. I'm kind of thought it would be better. All right, maybe Caitlyn has a populist bent in her somewhere, or she has a master plan to woo the plebes, because apparently she has the rich old white person vote in the back pocket already.
We've had 4 years of Donald Trump. We have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
For 6 months.
Give me your assessment of those 3 people.
What I liked about Donald Trump is he was a disruptor. He came in and shook the system up, okay? A lot of people didn't like that in Washington, D.C., but he came in and shook the system up. I think he did some things that I agreed with, some things I didn't agree with.
You were critical on transgender issues.
On trans issues, LGBT issues, I was more hopeful at the beginning. But there were some good things he did.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty fucking horrific there. Apparently, Caitlyn is more concerned with the number of zeros in her bank account than the acceptance of her gender identity and the rights of all LGBTQ people, of which she is quite literally the most famous, most visible trans woman in the United States of America, if not the world. And her opinion on Donald Trump is that he was still cool and did a whole bunch of stuff that was awesome. She was just a little disappointed. It is almost like now, for the first time in this entire interview, she's actually trying to appeal to mainstream Republicans by saying, pish posh, trans people, gay issues. Don't worry about that stuff. Doesn't matter.
On the other hand, Biden, I don't think I've agreed with anything. I don't think since he's been in there, he has done anything for the American worker, maybe other ones. So it is a 180-degree turn in our country, going the other direction, and it scares me.
You're starting to get the idea now, right? She's more concerned with Biden possibly increasing taxes on wealthy people than she is about Biden wanting to normalize transgender placement in high school sports and in the military. But no, she seems really drilled down on that whole being able to afford to, go to the hangar and fly your plane anytime you want. Oh my God, what if Biden cancels the tax breaks for private jet ownership? Oh, well, there you go. Caitlyn Jenner has now secured a solid 3,000 votes in the state of California. And yes, I'm talking about whoever the 3,000 richest people are who live in the state of California. That's her constituency right now. There you go. I think now you have a sort of broad overview of Caitlyn Jenner's concerns and views on what California should be, which is a wealthy white person paradise with very low taxes for rich people, but the remaining taxes that are coming in should be spent making sure that she has very good landscaping and enough water to keep all of her lush green landscape somehow pristine while living on the border of a fucking desert. And that's it. She's concerned with nothing else. Now, as to the larger issue of will Republicans and conservatives come out and vote for a trans woman? Well, it turns out, because Caitlyn's in the state of California, doesn't really fucking matter. She doesn't have to win a primary. She doesn't have to win any Republican endorsements, because in California, they have a very unique primary system. You see, anybody can run for any state office, and they all go on the same ballot, regardless of party, regardless of endorsements, regardless of ideology. And then there is a general primary, and the top two vote getters in that open primary, they become the two candidates for governor, again, regardless of party. So you see, Caitlyn Jenner doesn't have to worry about trying to win over the conservative mind. She just has to get white people who have enough money who are freaked out, and that is a very deep demographic in any state where there's a lot of money. So trust me, Caitlyn Jenner is not going to go away quietly, and there's a very good chance that she places first or second in that primary and ends up in a general election to possibly become the next governor of the state of California. Stay tuned, everybody. Until then, my name is James. I'm from the internet, and I'm out. Peace.